rotation. Coach, use your warm-up clock. We'll begin in 2 minutes.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Carver Hawkeye Arena and the home opener for the Iowa Hawkeyes Gymnastics. We're here for Big Ten Gymnastics. I'm John Evans, alongside my partner from last year. Different name, though, Kira Hayden.
Yes, at the end of the spring, we got married.
Attaway. So, should be a fun meet tonight. Two evenly balanced teams. I guess we could look back. Let's look back a little bit. Let's give Minnesota some credit for where they've been. National finals 2 years in a row. 6th place finish last year, replacing a whole lot of firepower.
Yes, no, Minnesota has been an ongoing Big Ten top 10 team. They had to, have a lot of seniors graduate last year that put up a lot of big numbers for them. So they might be on a, rebuilding year with a lot of newbies, but I feel like that's a lot of teams that are happening. We have 7 new freshmen with 2 transfers, so Minnesota's in the same boat with a lot of freshmen coming in, but they seem to be doing very well this season so far.
The COVID clock really changed a lot of that when you're counting names, who can stay, who needs to go, or who wants to go, who just wants to move on, and you really saw probably. I didn't go deeply into the Minnesota record books, but probably one of the best of all time graduated and left in Lexi Rambler. So now a replace, and as I talked to Coach earlier this week, one of the things she mentioned was 11 of 24. She called them newbies, freshmen and sophomores in the rotation. Now, as you look at Iowa, same thing. We mentioned right before we came on the air, as they did the introductions there, freshmen. I mean, there are some upperclassmen. Obviously, there's going to be some people they count on. There's a lot of new faces in this lineup.
Yes, for sure. Last year we were so used to hearing that lineup and hearing the announcers say senior. But it's exciting to have those freshmen in lineup and seeing them do so well so far this season. The last 3 meets, they've been just putting up remarkable numbers, and I feel like they're starting to get into their groove and they're making a name for themselves.
Preseason expectations had Minnesota 4th in the Big Ten, had Iowa 5th. We're currently kind of flipped over a little bit. Iowa, the 15th ranked team in the country, Minnesota 18th. But as you look at the scores, Minnesota 196.075, 196.325, 196.225, and Iowa similar range, actually coming off their 5th best all-time score, though, in the dual meet loss to Ohio State last weekend.
Yes, both these teams are starting off their seasons really strong, and it's really exciting to see that, especially with the new faces that are being put into lineups and having kind of a rebuilding year almost. And each meet is fun with these 2 teams. It's nice to have a Big Ten team going against a Big Ten team, that all started last weekend. So it's nice to have, head-to-head competitions.
You'd probably like to rather do it as a reload instead of a rebuild, right? You just kind of keep adding.
Yes. Every meet, each team is looking to grow and build that overall score at the end of the season.
And talking to Coach Hansen, one of the things so 2 years ago, 8th at the NCAA finals, last year was 6th. And you think about what your early season looks like versus now when you have 11 newbies in the lineup. And she said the expectations are still the same, but their path will be much different. And you see that in a program like Iowa last year, where you saw the scores keep building on themselves until the end of the year. And that's what you hope, as you raise your water level of score, that then as you keep adding, you just get a little bit higher.
Yes, for sure. Each team comes into the year, they're hoping to start off strong and continue that building process. And like we said, the freshmen are, hopping into those lineups. The sophomores are hopping into those lineups too that may not have been in the lineups last season, but they might have exhibitions. They might have had a little foot in the door, but now it's all or nothing.
So I'll let you, since we have the touch to Iowa, who do we need to watch for? And let's start with, so quick thing, if you're new to gymnastics, Iowa will start on the vault tonight. Minnesota will start on the uneven bars. So for the Hawkeyes, who should we watch out for on the vault tonight?
So we have 2 10-0 start values on vault, and that would be Linda Zivit and Allison Zolke. They've been really strong this season so far on vault. They've had some career highs to start the last 3 weekends, and their vault is super powerful. And what judges are looking for necessarily on the vault is good form in their vault, good distance from the vault table, a nice height from off of the vault table, and with the good landings. And something new with vault this year there are 2 white lines on the blue landing mat, and that is to help the judges, judge the direction of the value of the vaults.
And then for Minnesota, you're going to have, again, we talk about kind of the reload. You've got a couple of experienced performers there in Gianna Gertis and Haley Remlinger, who were the 2 of the gymnasts to watch on the Big Ten preseason watch list. So they're kind of ready too, and then they'll sprinkle in freshmen, and we'll talk about them as we come through. But it'll be a pretty good mix of experience and a mix of new, and as we're about to get started here.
Yes, it'll be a very fun meet.
So Gianna Masella, the freshman from Palm Harbor, Florida, will start the meet on the vault for the Hawkeyes. So 6 participants in each event. 5 will score for the team score, and then it looks like, at least according to the lineups, we'll have an exhibition, which is just a good crowd here tonight. It'll allow for the athlete to get a taste of what it's like to participate, to perform in front of the group, but not score, or not have the pressure of scoring this time.
Yes, a lot of coaches are putting in the exhibition gymnasts to see what they can produce to potentially be in lineup later on in the season, or if they need to rest someone, they can add that exhibition person in as well.
Good contingent from Minnesota, the Gopher crowd making some noise over there, a little flag up there. Last year we were almost done with the home season in Iowa City. We had all the meets on the front-loaded side. 4 home meets were all just almost, I think, the first week of February, and we were done.
I know, it's nice to have it spread out.
Yep, now we're getting kicked off here.
So G's going to start off the Hawkeye vault rotation with the Yurchenko full. And a very good landing, a little hop back, but she overall did a very good job.
Good start from Gianna. We'll move to the uneven bars. You'll have Soraya Johnson, also a freshman from Woodstock, Georgia.
Yes, so on the bars, judges are looking for handstands to finish on top of the bar, have good, clean lines throughout their routine. Their releases to have a good amplitude, and obviously that stuck landing at the end of the routine is icing on the cake.
Soraya with a 9.85 last time against Penn State, so setting a good high bar as the freshman.
Beautiful handstand on top. Very nice dismount. 1 step on the landing, but overall very good routine.
Good solid dismount there.
Yes, Minnesota's bars is always very clean with their landings and beautiful lines, so I'm excited to watch their bars.
Allison Zolke now, the junior from Waukesha, Wisconsin.
So Allison's vault's pretty unique. It is called the Zolke. It is named after her. What a nice vault.
Well performed there.
And if the vault happened too fast, what it is a front handspring onto the board, a half onto the horse, and a tuck pull off. Starting at a 10-0 value, and again, it is named after her, which is pretty unique.
And there probably aren't a ton of college athletes that have the vault named after them. Gianna Gertis now on the uneven bars for Minnesota. She'll compete in the all-around again. She's been in all 4 events for all 3 of the events that Minnesota's competed in. She's a junior from Delaware, Ohio.
Yes, she's been a very solid competitor for the Gophers.
9.75 for Masala and 9.7 for Johnson on their first routines for each team. So is she a little short on that handstand then? Is that great landing?
Yes, it was a very nice landing. She's a little short on the handstand. The judges necessarily want it on top or in that 90-degree angle.
Kendall LaPlante now up for Iowa. She's a junior from Seminole, Florida.
Kendall will be competing a Yurchenko full. Start value is a 9.95 for a Yurchenko full. See if she can zone in on this landing. Nice.
Well done there. Next up for the Gophers, Marissa Jenks. She's a sophomore from Madison, South Dakota. Selke scored a 9.875 on her vault. Gertis 9.825 on her bar routine.
Very nice handstand to start off the routine.
Jenks.
On vault from the Hawkeyes, Karina Munoz.
Karina Munoz now, the freshman. East Brunswick, New Jersey.
She's also doing a Yurchenko full. Very nice landing. Set that back foot. Very nice.
She's done well on the vault, been in the 9.8 range to 9.85 in her 3 tries so far. Good one there.
Yes, she has really made a statement as a freshman in the vault lineup.
Allie Remlinger is up next. She's a senior. Don't get to say that very often these days. Winona, Minnesota.
Yes, and she is one of the Gophers' Big Ten gymnasts to watch this year. She was named that before the season started.
On bars for the Gophers, Remlinger.
Hitting that handstand right on top of the bar. Little shy of that handstand into her dismount with a step landing. Very nice.
Really strong finish to that performance. Linda Zivit up next for the Hawkeyes. She's a senior from Manhattan, Illinois.
Yes, and she will be our second vaulter in our lineup that has a 10-0 start value vault. She is going to be competing a soup full. Let's see if she can zone in on this landing. She has the last couple competitions. It's a strong vault. Very nice.
Got it
She
again.
sticks the landing. And she is so excited.
She was a 9.9 at Ohio State last week. I think she's got a chance to see that number again.
Yes, that number again or higher. That's very nice.
Tiari Solis up next for the Gophers. She's a bar specialist. 9.9 her last time out in the duel against Penn State. So
Yes, her bars is very beautiful to watch.
The Gophers had a hard time on the bars, but had kind of figured it out last meet. So
Beautiful routine so far. All the handstands have been right on top of the bars. See if she can zone in and stick on this dismount. Do a double layout with a beautiful stuck landing. What a nice routine.
very well done there. Jaquavia Henderson will finish it up for the Hawkeyes on the vault as far as the scoring goes.
Yeah, she is going to be doing a Yurchenko full. Slight hop back, but very nice vault from Q.
Another solid effort from Q. She also scored 9-9 last week at Ohio State. And then Maya Hooten will finish it up for the Gophers.
Yes,
A
Maya.
junior from Woodbury, Minnesota. She's got a pretty long accolade list so far. She's performed in the all-around in 2 of the 3 meets so far. She took the beam off last week against Penn State. But when you look at her scores from the Penn State meet, 9-9, 9-2-5, and 9-9-5. So
Yes, Maya
She's
is
an
an
out-
exceptional gymnast. She is also the Gophers' other Big Ten gymnast to watch this year.
Linda Zivit, 9-9-7-5.
That's awesome. So the 2 judges, their scores combined, and one was a 9.95 from the judge, and another judge gave her a 10. So that's why it was a 9.75. Beautiful height on her release into immediate bail. Little shy of that handstand, but beautiful form. With a stuck landing. Very nice routine from Maya Hooten.
She certainly lived up to the billing there, didn't she?
Yes, she does.
Avery Chambers now will do an exhibition vault for the Hawkeyes, the freshman from Lombard, Illinois.
She is also doing a Yurchenko full. Slight hop back, but it's nice to see her getting her time in his exhibition and being able to get that experience.
The Hawkeyes will score a 49.375, which is their season high on the vault. Minnesota still waiting for waiting for Maya's to be scored, so we'll see where they end up. They're set at 49 right now. And then Maya Albertin, senior from Houston, Texas, will do an exhibition routine on the bars for the Gophers.
Beautiful handstand on top of the bar. Very nice release. A little short on that handstand. Very nice bar routine.
Good solid routine there. Give Minnesota 49.175. And so that'll be, they were led by Maya Hooten with a 9.875 and Tiari Solis with a 9.875. And of course, Linda Zivit led the Hawks with 9.975.
Yes, Linda really did crush the vault lineup.
So good solid performance there. So now we'll switch apparatus. Hawkeyes will move to the uneven bars. The Gophers will switch over to the vault. And so we've got a little bit of time. We're going to take a short break here, kind of get everything organized, and we'll come back. You're watching Big Ten gymnastics on Big Ten Plus.
This year marks the 50th anniversary of Iowa women's athletics. 50 years of tradition, championships, All-Americans, and all-time performances on every national stage. The University of Iowa made headlines in 2021, becoming the first NCAA Division I Power 5 institution to announce a women's wrestling program. The Hawkeyes are competing on a teams this season. Please give a big warm Carver Hawkeye welcome to the first Iowa women's wrestling team. And fans, let's get loud and let them hear you. We have 5 t-shirts on the floor. Allison Zolke, 9.875. Kendall Plant, 9.825. Marina Munoz, 9.85. Linda Simmons, 9.975. And your Quaker Henderson, 9.85. John Street Tire, Illinois, operated and voted best of the area for the 22nd year. Presenting sponsor of Iowa Women's Gymnastics. Trust John Street Tire for honest auto repair and best deals on Goodyear and Toyota Tire. John Street Tire is celebrating over 30 good years on the corner of Back to Church Street. What about Jerry? What about you? Chipmunk fans are the best, and we'd like to recognize this special group for coming out and sitting in our best seat in the house. For tonight's best seats upgrade, in turn 7, we have Devin. Join us in wishing Devin a happy birthday. Happy birthday, Devin. Big Ten Gymnastics Championships are coming back to Iowa. March 18, Iowa Gymnastics will host the Big Ten Championships at Extreme Arena. Get your tickets now on the Hawkeye mobile app or at HawkeyeSports.com. Minnesota, 49.175. Hawkeyes, 49.375.
Welcome back to Big Ten Gymnastics. I'm John Evans, along with Kira Hayden. Hawks, after one rotation, lead 49.375 to 49.175. So pretty high quality gymnastics there to kick off the meet. About to start the second rotation here. Minnesota will be on the vault. Iowa will be on the uneven bars. Gonna get everything organized here. Syria Johnson will start for the Gophers on the vault. And she's performed the all-around the last two meets for the Gophers. Been a pretty consistent former. Had a little trouble on the beam against Penn State, but otherwise put up some really solid numbers. 39.35 in the Wasatch Classic. So
yes, the beam is, one of those moments where you're either going to hit or you're not going to hit, and it's a little tough thing.
Well, we joked about it last year. I'm not even sure I could walk safely across the beam. So forget jumping, flipping, any turning, any of that. So I think we're
got the crowd starting up the Let's Go Hawks. That's exciting.
The Gopher fans have been very energetic, so the Hawkeye fans finally decided to push back.
Yes.
Here's Johnson.
She opened up a Stuck-Yurchenko full. What a nice vault.
Great start there for her. We'll move to Allison Zulke now on the bars.
Very nice handstand into a Hindorf. Another great handstand into a Pat. With a half pirouette, she's going to finish off her routine with a little shy handstand, but a full pirouette into a double tuck. A little hop back, but what a wonderful routine.
She's been very consistent so far in the three meets so far in that 9-8 range again, all three times there.
Yes, she's been a great leadoff for this bar squad.
Sarah Murrah, the freshman from Holland, Michigan, now for the Gophers.
She's doing a Yurchenko full. Slight step back, but a step is better than a big hop back.
And next up for the Hawks, Marissa Rojas, sophomore from Canton, Michigan. Did I label it up wrong? I did my math wrong.
No, I believe it's Karina McSweeney.
I missed Karina.
She was a late ad, so you're good.
So Karina McSweeney will be up for the Hawks.
Yes, and she is new to this bar lineup. Last year she wasn't in the bar lineup. She did a couple exhibitions. So it's really nice to see her, getting her time in and getting in the bar lineup. Going to do a blind change into a pike Jaeger. Little front break into an immediate bail. See if we can hit this handstand on top of the bar. Very nice. she is going to end it with a half in, half out dismount to a stuck landing. What a great routine to start.
Pretty darn good there.
She will be very happy with that.
Hallie Remlinger now for the Gophers. 9.85 for Soraya Johnson. 9.8 for Sarah Marat.
And Hallie just did a Chuck Yurchenko 1.5, so that is out of a 10.0 start value.
You saw there, you'd mentioned those lines before. You could see that time took the step and got outside the line. I assume there's some deduction there for being then outside of the...
Yes, depending on how big of a step outside of that white line will determine the deduction from the judges.
Now we get Marissa Rojas up for the Hawkeyes.
Yes, we do.
Selke scored 9.775. Haven't posted a score yet for McSweeney.
What a nice handstand on top of the bar. She's going to do a toe hand into a ginger. Little bit of leg separation, nice handstand, into an overshoot to handstand, little over. And her dismount is going to be a half in, half out. And it's really hard to do that from just her cast handstand. So that was a very nice routine from Marissa Rojas.
Gianna Gertis will be the fourth vaulter for the Gophers.
She is doing your Tinker 1.5, a very nice landing with a slight step forward. What a very nice form in the air.
Right now I'm like double checking the names every time I spit one out. Kendall LaPlante now will be next up for the Hawkeyes.
Yes, and she is new to this lineup this year, and she has been killing it meet after meet.
9.9 at Ohio State last week, so fantastic career high there.
Yes, it's been really exciting to watch her in the bar lineup. I know bars, she has said that it was not her favorite event, and now she's just excited to be doing it.
Team scores on the vault the performance scores tend to come out faster on the vault. 9.875 for Gianna Gertis, 9.85 for Johnson, Sarah Marat 9.8, and Hallie Remlinger 9.775. Karina McSweeney with a 9.8 on the vault, or I'm sorry, on the bars as well.
So she cast it over on her first handstand. She's going to come down, regroup, probably talk with Coach Hayden and see where they want to go from there. And it
so
does
just
count as a fall.
And so just a reminder, those 6 performers, so you hope that this is when you need your teammates to pick you up because you only count 5 scores for the team race. So Hawkeyes will have two more athletes to compete, and we'll know that their score is probably going to count, or they'll want it to count. So
yes, they will be looking to drop this score, but now she has to get back up and do the best that she can do, just in case there is another one. She will start over. She will do a straddle Jaeger into an immediate bail.
Is there a time limit for how long they can kind of regroup?
They have 30 seconds, as long as there's no injury. She seems to be doing okay. She's joking around with her friends, and she's just going to breathe and finish strong.
I would assume everybody that's ever been on one of these has had that happen to them at some point.
Yes, most likely. Beautiful double layout.
Maddie Quarles up next for the Gophers, the redshirt senior from Andover, Minnesota. She's a vault specialist, 9'9" last week at Penn State.
Yes, she has a beautiful vault. She is going to do a Yurchenko 1.5. Slight off to the side, but just a slight hop forward, and that was a beautiful.
Is this one of those where if you're on the line, you're in, or you're on the line, you're out?
I think it just depends on the judges because they are looking at that directional. The lines are based on your direction. So I would believe that they would take a little bit for that.
A good all-around vault, though. Adeline Kenlin up next for the Hawks. She's a junior here from Iowa City.
Yes, it's nice to see her back in the bar lineup. At the beginning, they were resting her arm, and there was no injury, but they just wanted to be safe that the arm was okay, so it's nice to see her swing because her lines are just gorgeous.
I asked both coaches about kind of load management. How do you, if you want your athlete to be in the all-around at the end of the year, but maybe you try to break them into it gently, how do you get them to the right place, and do you kind of shuffle pieces around? How do you do that? And that's part of it, is especially if you have some depth at the position, it allows you to keep somebody else performing and get some experience as well.
Yes. Beautiful handstand on top of the bar into a toe handstand. She's going to do a Maloney into a pack with the switch kip. Little shy of that handstand into a toe full with full pirouette. Step landing on that double tuck. What a beautiful bar routine from Adeline.
Strong response there and a half-two performance from Adeline Kenlin.
Yes, she knew she needed to step in and, help the team, and she did what she was supposed to.
And Maya Hooten will finish up the scoring for the Gophers on the vault.
Maya's ball is beautiful to watch. She will do a Yurchenko 1.5. Slight hop back, so the judges will take.
Pretty strong finish there. And the Hawks will turn to their anchor, Karina Munoz. Big spot for a freshman here.
Yes, and she can definitely lead up to it.
So Minnesota, good scores on the vault. Still waiting on that last one, but as they sit as a team now, 49.175. And I would think Maya's is pretty good, and that's going to hold up there.
Yes, so Karina is going to do a cow hop to a piked Jaeger. Very nice. Beautiful handstand on top, into a bail handstand, a little bit of a form break and over. And she's going to finish with a free hit to an immediate double layout, which is very hard to do. Step landing. What a great routine from the freshman Karina.
She did that exceptionally well. And that's Again, from your last two gymnasts there, that's a pretty big answer after watching two falls, knowing you have to perform to come up and really dig deep and get it done.
Yes, you know, it looks like they blocked it out. They got it out of their heads. They just focused on their bar routine, and they hit it, and that's what they needed to do.
And you could see with Adeline talking to her beforehand, you could see Adeline was staying loose. So certainly the pressure wasn't wearing on her at that point, and showed well. We've got an exhibition vault here. That was Lauren Pearl.
Yeah, she did a very nice control your Tenko full. And she only had a step back, which is, again, better than having the hot back.
And Gianna Masella, again, kind of a good place to get a freshman some additional experience in this exhibition part. Gophers will finish the vault at 49.3 as Maya Hooten rolls out a 9.9.
Yes, so Gianna Ambares as a freshman, she's still trying to find her way into the bar lineup, but the exhibition is doing great, getting her into the lineup and figuring out what she needs to fix.
With an exhibition on bars from Lebanon's Gianna Masella.
So Linda Zivit will win the vault. Good performance from her tonight.
Little short on that handstand into a blind change, piped Jaeger. A little bit of flex speed on that. Nice handstand. She's gonna pass handstand veil. Nice handstand into a double layout. Let's see if she can find that stick. Slightly hot back, but that was a good routine from G.
And again, great experience for the freshmen to get out there, perform the routine in front of a good crowd. So again, Linda Zivit wins the vault, 9.975. Maya Hooten, 9.9. On the bars, we'll have, just make sure we got all of the scores in. We did. So on the bars, we'll have a three-way tie. Maya Hooten will end up winning the race there. Tiari Solis and Adeline Kenlin all at 9.875, so those three will share the individual title there. As the Gophers go for 49.3 on the vault, 49.175 on the bars. Iowa goes 49.375 on the vault and 49.025 on the bars. And so through two events, we're at halftime. Minnesota has a small lead, 98.475 to 98.4. So kind of as we expected at the beginning, a good competitive meet, good close scoring.
Yes.
And then it'll be really, the Gophers will start on the floor and Iowa will be on the beam, and then Gophers will finish up on the event that's kind of been their challenge so far this year. So be interesting to watch. We've got a little bit of time here. We're going to take a quick timeout. You are watching Big Ten Gymnastics on Big Ten Plus.
February 2nd. The best thing you can do on social media right now is following our official Gym Moms accounts. Follow us on Iowa Gymnastics on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook for exclusive news, photos, and videos of the team.
Welcome back to Carver Hawkeye Arena and Big Ten Gymnastics. Kira Hayden, John Evans here. Good solid meet through the first two apparatus. 98.475 for Minnesota, 98.4 for the Hawks.
Yes, I
As
could
the
see
team-
it being a close meet up until the end.
Both teams are very good on the floor, and Iowa might have a slight advantage on the bars, and that'll be if Iowa can perform as we've talked about. Doesn't take much to get off, and all of a sudden scores can get way out of whack in a hurry.
Yes. So on the balance beam, what judges are potentially looking for are nice form, and what that means is, straight legs, pointed toes on their elements on the beam. Just overall nice flow of the routine without your wobbles, and then finding that stuck landing at the end of the routine.
Jaquavia Henderson to kick off for the Hawkeyes.
Yes, and she has been a strong leadoff for us on the balance beam. She's going to do a handspring layout. Very nice finish. Very nice leap series. And the judges are really looking for those leaps and jumps to reach that 180 or greater. She's going to finish her routine with a round-off double tuck, and there's not many gymnasts in the NCAA that still compete this. What a very nice routine from...
Is that a dismount where she can really kind of show her power? I mean, she's a
Yes.
powerful jumper and tumbler.
Yes, it's not a very common element.
Marissa Jenks will kick it off for the Gophers. Probably Minnesota's best event. And in the low, pushing up in the mids, 49-4, 49-3 in the last two tries here.
Yes, so Jenny loves putting floor routines together, so she works with the girls and puts these wonderful floor routines together with beautiful choreography. Very nice opening pass. Very nice jump series. the judges are really looking for controlled landings on each of their passes. Their leaps to make it the entire way around and also reaching that 180 or above mark. Staying in bounds, obviously, and there's this white mat around the outside of the floor, and that is where the out of bounds line is, and having good artistry in their dance. Very nice last pass.
Good opening routine there for the Gophers.
Yes, she did a very nice job for them.
Allison Zelke now again. Be on the beam for the Hawkeyes.
So Z is new to the beam lineup this season. She wasn't in beam lineup last year. And, you know, she's still making her mark in this beam lineup, which is really good. She's going to open up with a triple series, which is a pretty difficult thing because you can be off in the slightest bit and your series can cause you to fall. Very nice leaps.
We kind of joked about before, you might challenge me to take 3 steps across that beam, let alone take 3 solid flips like that.
Yes. Just landing on her disc now. What a nice routine from Z.
She is fired up about that. Great performance there. 9.775 for Q, the opener for the Hawkeyes. But Brooklyn Roway now. She's a freshman, and she's actually from Central Iowa over in Carlisle. $9.775 for Jenks to start off the Minnesota routine.
Very nice opening pass. Judges would probably like to see a little bit cleaner landing and not so much of a hop, but very nice. Dancing right into her second pass. Run up handspring, double tuck. A little bit more control on that landing. Very nice loop series. What a very nice routine.
$9.75 for Zelke. That'll bring up Alexa Ebling, senior from Adel, Iowa.
But she is also new to this beam lineup, wasn't in it last year, so we had a lot of seniors in the beam lineup last year, so a lot of freshmen and sophomores are jumping into this lineup. Opening up with a handspring layout, very solid. Beautiful full turn. Very nice jumps. Judges probably want to see her head go back a little bit further on that ring leap. Very solid front aerial. She is nailing this routine. She's gonna finish off with a gainer pike. Let's see if she can find this landing, and she does. She sticks the landing. What a wonderful routine from Alexa.
Very nicely done. 9-8 for Brooklyn Rowway. That'll bring up Gianna Gertis. This was about this time last year was when Iowa went up to Minnesota for the duel, and Minnesota set their all-time career high in that dual meet. So get a little bit of a reload here, but still a lot of quality out here.
Yes, these two teams are very well put together and have some great gymnasts in them. Opens the routine with a pump front round facing double tuck. Very nice landing on that. She is just sliding across the floor. Very pretty dance work. Taking a breather before this pass. Round off handspring double fight. Little slide back of her front foot. Very nice routine.
Very nicely done there from Gertis. Hawkeyes will have Aubrey Nick up next, the junior. Alexa Ebling had a 9.8 was her score, so good scores so far for the Hawkeyes.
Very nice handspring layout. Something new that is added into beam routines is a judging change, and routines have to end their routine with a dismount that is valued at a C. So a lot of gymnasts in the NCAA had to rework their routines and change their dismounts. Beautiful step, round off 1.5 from Aubrey Nick. What a wonderful routine.
Gianna Gertis with a 9.85 on the floor. Next up for the Gophers, Soraya Johnson. The freshman's been very good so far, 9.9 and a 9.85 in her 2 scored competitions.
Yeah, seeing her warm up, her floor routine's very energetic, very fun, and I'm excited to see it. Very nice first pass, very controlled landing. Her presentation is very nice throughout its routine, constantly looking up and making it aware that she wants to be owning the floor. Finishing with a round off handspring double tuck. Very nice pass. almost stuck landing.
That probably is going to have a pretty good number attached to it.
I would say so. And her team seems to be very excited for her.
9.875 for Aubrey Nick.
Yes, that's a very nice routine, and she deserved that score.
Marissa Rojas up next.
She's going to open her routine with a handspring layout, step out, beautiful. Very nice full turn, dancing right out of it. Very nice punch front. Good leap. Little hot back, couldn't quite get the stick, but very nice routine from Marissa Rojas.
Hallie Remlinger up next.
Yes, and she was one of their Big Ten gymnasts to watch, so I'm excited to see her full routine.
9.85 from Soraya Johnson as well.
Very nice opening pass. Dances right out of that pass.
I always like it when you watch the teammates surrounding the mat that are doing the routine as they're doing it on the floor.
Yes, you know, they are constantly doing these practice routines in the gym when they're practicing, so the girls learn all the moves and just do it with the girl on the floor. Very nice routine.
9.8 for Marissa Rojas, and if you're going to turn to an anchor, the national runner-up is probably a pretty good anchor in Adeline Kenlin.
Yes, she is a fierce beam queen. Going to open her routine with a handspring layout, step out, beautiful. Front aerial right into her leaps. Beautifully done. Her lines are just beautiful on this event. Full turn, dancing right out of it. Into a stuck landing. What a gorgeous routine from Adeline.
Pretty well done. Her teammates recognize that. And Maya Hooten will have the anchor spot for the Gophers.
Yes, and if we're going from a beam queen, we're going to a floor queen right now. Her floor routine is just exquisite.
She posted the first perfect 10 of her career and the first Gopher in program history as a freshman in 2021 on the floor.
What a gorgeous opening pass, so high.
Just makes it look easy.
She really does. Now she's getting into the dance moves with her teammates. Always makes it fun. Beautiful jump. Very nice pass. She just floats that front tight back.
Wow.
Look at Steph landing on that last pass. What a very nice routine from Maya Hooten. I could see her getting a very good score on that routine.
Karina Munoz will head to the beam to do an exhibition routine.
Yes, and her routine is very fierce. You can just see everything is purposeful and she means it. Very nice. Had a little wobble, but she was able to cover it up. There you go. Sounds like she's got her beam music on, so she's just jamming. Had a fall on her handspring layout, step out, and then hopped right back up.
That was the angry regroup.
This is what the exhibition is for. It's to get your, jitters out on beam. It's to get used to the competing in the new arena. There's so many things that go into play with this arena.
Good finish there for her. So 49.15 for the Hawkeyes, led by Adeline Kennelin's 9.9. And then we go to Minnesota, 49.375. led by Maya Hooten's 9.975. Some judge decided it wasn't quite worth the 10, but it was pretty darn close. And so Emily Cook will be doing now an exhibition.
Yes, she was in their lineup last weekend, but had a little bit of a mess up, so they're probably just trying to get her back into the swing of things and being in their lineup. Very nice finish. What a beautiful routine.
That was very nicely done. As that'll finish up rotation number 3. Gophers hold a slim lead through 3 rotations, 147.85 to 147.55. So
yes, it looks like it'll come down to the last event.
come down to the last one. Gophers will have to probably, again, might need a season high to go ahead and, if they want to hold on and keep the Hawkeyes at bay here. See, the Hawkeyes move to probably one of their better events. And so it's a tough switch if you're on the Gopher scorekeeping side, but a chance for the Hawkeyes to make up that 3/10 deficit here.
Yes, for sure. The Hawkeyes are about to have a floor dance party.
We're going to take a quick break. You are watching Big Ten Gymnastics on Big Ten Plus. Arena and Big Ten Gymnastics, John Evans, Kira Hayden, as we prepare for the final rotation. You know, one of the things we saw a great video before the meet started, and then I believe it was after the first rotation, the new Iowa women's wrestling team was introduced to the crowd as well. The video was Title IX, the 50 years of women's sports. Pretty cool deal. I mean, listening to there were Iowa coaches that narrated it, and it was a really neat deal.
Yes, it was very inspiring. You know, all of the words for that entire video came from head coach Larissa Libby, and she really put into a lot of thought with the video and who she wanted to speak throughout the video as well. And, you know, it's just remarkable that we were able to have the Iowa women's wrestling program here tonight to, you know, introduce them, because it's such a huge milestone of them creating a path for younger females. Just another sport for girls to do.
And the Gopher fans care enough about wrestling as well that even they were applauding the Iowa women's wrestling team.
Yes.
So it crosses enemy lines, so to speak.
Yes, we're hoping to get more, you know, women's Big Ten programs.
Emily Cook will be the first beam participant for the Gophers. As you mentioned, during her exhibition routine, had a little bit of an off meet against Penn State, had a tough floor routine, and probably didn't have her best beam day either. And so she'll look to get back kind of on the right side of the scoring here tonight.
Yes, you know, she's had floor tonight with exhibition, you know, maybe a little less nerves being in the exhibition spot, but she did a great job on floor, and she's going to lead off this team, and I think she'll do a great job.
And she has a career high 9.925 on the beam, so.
Yes, her beam is beautiful work. She's super tall and thin, and it just gives you beautiful lines on the balance beam. Very nice full turn. Gonna open it with a handspring layout step out. Little wobble, but she was able to bring it back and finish. Nice sweeps. We'd like to see a little bit more split to 180. Very nice. That is very hard to do because she's landing on one leg. It's very controlled and very pretty. She's gonna finish with a round of 1.5. Almost got the stuck landing, had to take a hop back, but a very nice start for the Gophers.
You could see as she prepared for that one-footed landing, you could see the concentration etched on her face.
Yes, she was running through her beam cues, I'm assuming.
Aubrey Nicknell will start the Hawkeye floor rotation.
Yes, she's going to bring us a dance party for sure. She's going to open her routine with a front double full. Very nice.
I think she did that to you.
I think she did. Dancing it out, you know, everyone along the line of teammates knows it. She just did a beautiful switch swing to a switch half for her leap series. Very controlled landing. Very nice second pass. She ends her routine with the peace sign. What a fun routine to open up for the Hawkeyes floor party.
What's disappointing for me is all of the things that I know I can't do, and then she dances like that, and I know I can't do that either. So give Cook a 9.65 to start the beam.
Yes,
Ella Searord now.
starting off with a very unique mount. Very nice full turn. Handspring there, step out. Couldn't quite get the landing on that, so she had to fall. She's gonna hop back up. She's gonna just brush it out from what just happened. She's going to finish strong. Pretty leap. Very nice finish. Couldn't get the stick, but had to take a slight step, but very nice beam.
9.6 for Aubrey Nick on the floor. Name that might sound familiar now. Next up for the Hawkeyes, Bailey Libby. Getting a little pep talk from, was that coach or was that mom?
I think she calls it both. Bailey's gonna open her pass with a front double full. Beautiful. Her floor routine is just a beautiful artistry to her. She really knows how to just dance and let it flow. She's gonna do a back 1.5. Punch front layout with a beautiful landing. Beautiful switching to a switch half. Gonna dance it out into the corner to Karina. Gonna end this routine with a Rudy. And what a beautiful floor routine from the freshman Bailey.
I know Coach Libby well enough to know that she thinks of all the girls as her daughters, but that one's probably a little different.
That's a very special moment. I know it gives me the chills, so it has to give her mother the chills.
Soraya Johnson now up for the Gophers. 9-1 for Ella Searord.
Very nice full turn. Secondary handspring step out. Very nice and controlled. Beautiful. that finished 15. The front full, very nice.
You could definitely see her being one of the Gophers as the years go on, and she just continues to improve.
Yes, for sure.
Up next for the Hawkeyes, the gymnast that I don't know that I've ever seen without a smile on her face, Linda Zivit, giving 9.825 to Bailey Libby.
Yeah, Linda makes floor super fun. Such a powerhouse. Opening up with the front two, round up, back in double check. Beautiful work. Going through a push half into a split full. Very pretty. Last pass. Very nice finish to this wonderful powerhouse floor team. What a beautiful routine from Linda. I just love watching her floor.
Very nicely done there. Up next for the Gophers, Gianna Gertis. Soraya Johnson with a 9.775 on her routine. Hawkeyes have edged into the lead here, but Minnesota will be trying to get rid of that 9-1.
Yes, and they still have the option to get rid of it. Beautiful front aerial. Second spin layout, step out, very nice and controlled.
Adeline Kenlin playing in the chalk here in front of us.
She's just making me laugh. This is a very nice routine so far.
Very well done from Gertis.
Clicks the heels together, very nice.
She fought that landing and held on. Karina Munoz will follow up Linda Zivit's 9.875.
Now, Karina is something else on this floor. She really commands the attention. Just watch the look in her eyes. She's going to open up with a front through two double tuck. Little hop back.
It was such an explosive landing, she kind of bounced.
Yes, she will receive a deduction for that. Very nice and controlled switch half to wolf full. Last pass is not a pinching double pipe to a stuck landing. What a way to end.
After her fall on the beam, that's a pretty good finish up for her.
Yes. What a fun routine.
Gianna Gertis with a 9.825 will open the way for Brooklyn Rowry.
Just doing that step out, very solid. Looking very confident up on that beam. Very beautiful leaps. She is looking very solid for the Gophers. Little bubble on that turn. Finishing her routine with a round off 1.5 stuck landing. What a nice beam routine from Brooklyn.
Strong performance for the Iowa high schooler. Brink coming back to her home state. Adeline Kenlin now on the floor for the Hawks. 9.725 for Munoz.
So Ads is performing a brand new routine this year. And Larissa spends a lot of time choreographing these and making them be as perfect as they can be. She takes a lot of pride into choreographing for these girls. She's gonna open with a front double full. Beautifully danced out.
Can you cover a landing kind of with that step or dance move or kind of a...
Yes, you can.
You just immediately transition kind of into the next thing?
Yep. Her leap series is very difficult. She's going to do a switch leap connected to a Ferrari leap. And not many people in the NCAA do that. Going to finish this routine with a round off 1.5 front layout to a beautiful scale. What a wonderful routine from Adeline.
Might have heard a cheer during the routine there from the Minnesota contingent. That was a 9.9
Yes,
for Brooklyn Rowry.
she had a beautiful routine.
Sarah Murrah up next.
Yes, as the beam anchor.
She's kind of the key to the meet here to try to get rid of the 9.1.
Very nice full turn. Handspring layout step out, very solid. Little balance check on that. Very nice. duck landing. What a finish for the Gophers on the balance beam.
Great performance, and all 5 had to really come through knowing after that first one, and they really came to play.
Yes, they really knew that they needed to get rid of that 9-1, and that's what they did.
And the Hawks will finish up with Jaquavia Henderson.
She also has a new routine this year. It's super fun.
9.925 for Adeline Kenlin.
It's a great score. She is going to open up with a beautiful full in.
What height.
Wonderful. She had such control on that landing. Her leaps are going to be a switch side into a popa, straddle jump, very controlled. Everyone's getting into the dance moves over here. She's going to finish her routine with a front through to double tuck. Beautiful landing. And a strong finish for the Hawks on floor. I think that's going to be a pretty big score.
So we've got a Minnesota finishes with a 9, let's see, I lost it. A 9.9 and a 9.875 from Sarah Murrah. So Hawkeyes are going to need a 9.975 from Q to tie the meet.
Okay, we have Maya Hooten going on for Minnesota.
Maya Hooten. And they got the 9.975, so we're going to be tied, as one judge gave her a 10, one gave her a 9.95. So we talked early on about the younger participants maybe getting the action on the apparatus. So with somebody like Maya, what's the idea here?
So I believe last week she was in lineup, and they had a couple things happen in their beam lineup, so they could just be giving her a little bit of a break necessarily for the competition side of things, but her beam is beautiful regardless.
I want to make sure she stays sharp just in case.
Beautiful beam routine.
Hannah Castillo, the freshman, will also get a go now for Iowa.
Hannah's going to open her routine with a front 3-2 double pipe. This is her first time competing at Carver, but in exhibition for this whole season so far. So I think what Larissa's looking for is she had a good practice this week, so they wanted to put her in the exhibition spot and see what she can give them.
So do the judges, I know they don't post an official score, but do the judges judge it anyway, almost for practice for them as well?
Yes, they do. They judge it just like she's competing in the actual lineup, because the coaches also want to see what she could potentially score if she were in lineup as well. just finished her routine with a double tuck. Very nice routine from the freshman, Hannah.
So, Iowa finishes the floor with a 49.325. Minnesota finishes the beam with a season high 49.025. And that leads us to a tie. 196.875. So strong performances all around. We'll run through real quick before they go to the cha-cha slide, because I know you're going to bounce out there to do that. So going back real quick, Linda Zivit's she's going to win the vault, 9.975. The bars three-way tie, Maya Hooten, Adeline Kenlin, Tiari Salace at 9.875. On the beam, we're going to share that one as well. Adeline Kenlin and Brooklyn Railway, 9.9. And on the floor, Maya Hooten and Jerquavia Henderson, 9.975. So, again, very high-level performance tonight.
Yes, and that was what we expected coming into this. Both teams are very well put together and have very good gymnastics, and it was overall a great meet.
All right, so we think we know the results. We're pretty sure we know the results, but we're going to go ahead and take a break. We'll come back as they come out. Again, we're going to get, they do the cha-cha slide here while they're adding everything up, tallying everything, making sure there's no mistakes. But we'll take a quick break. We'll be back for the award ceremony. You're watching Big Ten Gymnastics on Big Ten Plus.
notching the fourth best score in program history. During the NCAA first round, the team would overcome a 1-10 deficit on the final rotation and defeat perennial powerhouse and 6th-ranked LSU. The performance would propel the Hawkeyes to their first ever NCAA Sweet 16, where they would notch the second best all-time score in program history. Tonight, we recognize that accomplishment by hanging their first Sweet 16 banner in the rafters. Let's give it up for our Jayhawks.
Welcome back to Carver Hawkeye Arena. Just tallying up scores here as the Hawkeyes just raised a banner for last year's Sweet 16 team. That was kind of cool.
Yes, and I was at that meet last year, and it was such a fun, enthusiastic meet.
So again, Hawkeyes finish, actually both teams finish at 196.875. That's a season high by a good number for the Gophers, as they were previous best was 196.325. As really the key for them tonight was figuring out their vault. That had been kind of what had been holding them back, and posted a pretty good score tonight on the vault.
Yes, overall.
Or I'm sorry, on the beam.
Overall, like, each team did very well on the events. Obviously, they're going to come back into practice on Monday and know what they need to fix and make better, because there were minor mistakes. But it was such a fun meet, and I can't say that I've been at a meet that has ended in a tie, so that's exciting.
Last week, Iowa posted the 5th best score in school history at 196.9. Tonight, right on that at 196.875. So good performance there. And I guess when I ran through the events, I neglected Gianna Gertis will end up as the all-around champion today, 39.375. So good, solid performance on all 4 events for her.
Yes, she had a great meet.
They did not cha-cha slide there. They promised cha-cha slide. They did not do it.
I know. Maybe they're saving it for after awards. I don't know.
So I think we should be. So we announce an MVP for each team, and then obviously the event winners. And no team winner tonight.
Yes.
We'll all get to celebrate.
Everyone's a winner.
Exactly. But again, for relatively early in the season, you saw good, solid performances, and you saw something that if you're Coach Libby and your Coach Hansen, there's probably a lot that you think, this is good, let's build on this.
Yes, you know, all the coaches should be super proud of their teams this evening. They put up a fight for sure. Whenever, you know, someone fell in the lineup, the girls stepped up. So they know that their practice is being put into play.
Got all the teams lined up here, just kind of waiting for the grand finale here.
Looks like the head women's wrestling coach is going to be passing out the roses to the girls.
Oh, very nice. I had heard at one of the breaks, I'd heard them behind us talking about, you were telling me your parents are at the Iowa Penn State wrestling meet. I heard somebody telling me about it, or I heard somebody talking about it behind us.
I wanna see how it's going.
Steal a quick look. I know we're a gymnastics broadcast tonight, but like Iowa leads through 157, 11-9. So Spencer Lee wasn't able to get a pin tonight. He only won 18-2.
I'm sure it's a fun meet to be that. A fun match to be at.
Yeah, there aren't a ton of schools that do it as well in wrestling as Iowa does, but Penn State is certainly one that does. when I was talking to Coach Hansen on the phone this week, she said that this is probably the closest team that she's ever coached. Again, they're different than what they've been in the past, but they're a very close-knit group, and they really look out for each other. And instead of having that superstar, it's really kind of a team collective effort. There are a couple of outstanding gymnasts and all around, but you do have a lot more pieces contributing, an event here or two events here, and as maybe they did last year, where might have been 3 or 4 that were doing the all around.
Yes, it's always exciting and interesting to see how the teams rebuild that relationship, when seniors leave and freshmen come in. And I always think it's exciting and nice to see that the teams can, put aside all the differences and still be one.
And again, we talked about that with the floor routines. I mean, there's a lot of people that were lining the floor that haven't been on any of the events, and yet they're all there cheering, supporting their teammates. When they were on the beam, you could see it was almost like a choir stage that they were all kind of on and cheering and supporting.
Yes.
On the beam.
They know that the teammates are very supportive, and each one of them have each other's backs.
StatCast had these numbers. I'm not sure what we're waiting on here, as I see the guys hustling behind us here, so we might be pretty close to our official announcements. I was talking to the event crew before the meet started, and there's a women's basketball game here at noon tomorrow. So everything you see has to get torn down, cleaned up. Basketball floor has to get put back down.
Yes.
And get ready to play. It was funny because as he was joking, the biggest problem was all the chalk. Of how do you clean up all the chalk around?
I know when Quest comes home from coaching bars, he obviously the colors are black, so he's working with chalk that's white, and he just comes home covered in white.
Like the kid in grade school that just rolled along the chalkboard.
The first award goes to the state-out MVP for Minnesota, Brooklyn Lowry.
So Brooklyn, the Carlisle, Iowa native, got the MVP award for the Gophers. And Q gets it for the Hawkeyes, Jerquavia Henderson.
Now let's recognize the winners of the individual events. On vault, first place from Iowa, Linda Zivit with a score of 9.975.
Linda Zivit announced as the winner.
First place on bars, we have a 3-way tie with scores of 9.875. For Minnesota, Maya Hooten. And for Minnesota, Tiara Solis.
So Hooten and Solis getting recognized for the bar title. And Adeline Kenlin.
On the beam, we have a 2-way tie for first place with scores of 9.9.
Adeline and Brooklyn will get their names called again. Great scores at 9-9. Now the PA announcer switched to Rowry on how to say her name, so either I've screwed it up all night or we've switched here in the middle.
First place on the floor, we have a 2-way tie with scores of 9.975.
Maya Hooten and Jerquavia Henderson again at 9.975. Both of them talked one judge into a 10, but couldn't talk the other one into a 10.
Yes.
And our all-around winner for tonight with a score of 39.375 from Minnesota, Gianna Gertis.
And congratulations to Gianna Gertis for the overall title, the all-around. Coach Clarissa wants to hand out flowers and hugs, but nobody's ready for this.
We have a two-way tie for first place with a score of 196.875.
A two-way tie and a duel.
Yes.
Congratulations to both teams. Again, we started off the broadcast with this should be a very close, very evenly matched duel. The teams have kind of flip-flopped. We end the duel with nothing really settled.
Yes, it is still open.
A good, solid finish. And that'll do it for tonight. Any closing thoughts?
No, not that I haven't said already.
You and I will be back together in 2 weeks. February 11th
Yes, we
gets
will.
Michigan State. Iowa will be back at home. A big thank you to our camera people and the gang back in the control room. For Kira, I'm John Evans. Thank you for watching Gymnastics on Big Ten Plus. Have a great weekend.